So Randy, for those of you that do not know Randy, he's the Director of Talent and Organizational Development at Penske. So just invited him today just to go through just some questions about how you started, with Learn365, some of the challenges you went through, while getting Learn365, internal, external. So I just have a couple of questions. Again, this is more like, we use this as a conversation to go through it.
Sure.
But what was that procedure like when you got or LMS 365 back in 2021?
Yeah, so what we have to remember there is, do you remember 2021 where everything was kind of shut down, right? We're thinking COVID, where everybody's remote. And, Penske is a very hands-on organization. I mean, if there's nobody in person to build the trucks or maintain the truck, not build them, but maintain the trucks and stuff like that, what happens? So we were scrambling to figure out how we were going to deliver our trainings, which then was mostly in person.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had to pivot very, very quickly to deliver these trainings, but we didn't want to lose integrity. We didn't want to lose vigor, impactfulness, and transformation capability. So how can we level up our team to deliver these things virtually and maintain, the integrity of our work, of our courses? And so we needed a solution that would help us, that could platform all this stuff, right? Our in-person, our virtual training, our e-learnings, and things like that. So we had to pivot very quickly, and and our native systems weren't it. It wasn't enough for us. So we wanted to be cutting edge. We wanted to be state of the art. We wanted to be leading in that area. So we went on the hunt to, one, upskill our team to be able to pivot to deliver these trainings in person. Sorry, I keep saying in person, virtually, and maintain the integrity of the courses, but then also have a state-of-the-art, consumer-grade learning experience while doing it. And so we had to do our research around what that would look like. And that's where the journey started. We couldn't depend on our own our own home systems, or current systems, I should say, at that point, because they were a little outdated, and we felt like we just wanted a better version for our learners.
Yeah.
And that's where we started the journey on looking for platforms to be able to host what we needed to host.
Yeah. And so you mentioned you had was it a home built solution, like an LMS?
Legacy, it was like Taleo. If you heard of Taleo
Okay.
LMS, it's an older system. I think it wasn't even being updated anymore. Things have moved to Oracle Cloud and things like that, but we were still on our legacy Taleo system. So
Got it. Okay.
yeah.
And what are some of the other LMSs you guys considered?
Yeah, so when we started on that journey, we looked at I mean, if you just Google top 5 LMSs, you get the Docebos, you get the Learning Pools, you get the 360. So we looked at all of them, and we kind of created this heat map and things like that. What happened at the same time around that COVID area, to try to stay connected with what a lot of people are now being remote, was the implementation of Microsoft 365. So before the pandemic, Penske didn't have Microsoft, or at least it wasn't available to all the associates at Penske. And this was a way for the company to implement a way for us to, even though we were remote, us to stay connected through the chat feature, through video conferencing, using Microsoft Teams. So those two things kind of happen in tandem as a reaction to the pandemic. From that, my team, specifically talent and organizational development, we kind of take things and run with it really hard and really stretch them as much as we can. So with Microsoft Teams, we were like, wow, this is such a collaborative tool. This is such a easy tool to communicate and with everything in the cloud. So we kind of took that and ran with it in a way where we were on it every single day. And so when we looked at our vendors, we created this big heat map on functionality. And, don't get me wrong, I feel like 90% of the functionality is across everything. It's that
Yeah.
5 to 10 or maybe even less than that differentiator that makes the difference depending on what you need. And I think LMS 365, not I think, it was that differentiator because it was the only solution that allowed that offered integration into the tool that we've grown accustomed to and comfortable using, which is Microsoft Teams. It integrated well with the whole Microsoft suite, and that was the differentiator from all the other platforms that we were looking at.